A few things before you watch the video. The noise you hear in the background is the bell on Ozzy's collar. Second of all, this is not, I repeat, is not a tutorial. It's just the way that I did this. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody. Maybe a month or so ago, for those that don't know, because this is going to go out as a public reel, I am legally blind, as is my husband. So about a month ago, I posted some photos of the storm door that I put stained glass tint on. So somebody asked, how did I cut it? How did I do that myself without any visual, somebody with actual really good vision or decent vision, how I did what I did. Now I did that a little differently because I could reach the window. I could actually walk up to it and work on it. So today's project, this is one of the sections that I had already tinted. Get in the frame. So all this is tint that I got on Amazon. I'll link it in the sink below. And I didn't think we did until I realized just how much sunlight we truly got until we turned the couch. Because originally our couch was along the wall, and I convinced Paul to turn it this way so that I wasn't craning to watch television, because I was having to turn kind of sideways, and with my back being messed up, I just didn't want to continue to do that. So I talked him into turning it so that we actually face the TV. Well, where the sofa lands, the door's right there, and all that evening sun was coming in, and, you know, as I said, both my husband and I are legally blind, and certain light sources are just too much light. The light, I'm getting more and more sensitive to brighter lights, like outside. That's just too, I don't know what it is, but in the house, I have lights everywhere. My husband's like, okay, the light tries outside. Anyway, I digress. So I bought some window cling stuff off of Amazon. Like I said, I'll link it in the sink below. And I did the first door, and it worked so well. And it also reduced solar heat that comes through the window. So let me show you my process. Let's get on with this. So I kind of already started and then decided I was going to make this video. I'll be back. This is the window we're going to tint today. You wouldn't think, because our house is L-shaped, that we would get a lot of sunlight in here, but due to being light sensitive to light quite bright like that, I wanted to window tint. So this is one that I did the same day I did this the day after. One solid piece across the top. I really do think I might tint the rest of this window. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, this is the view out of this window. And I love it, don't get me wrong, but doing dishes with the sun is kind of getting difficult for me. So there was this manufacturer sticker up here in the corner, and it took me 30 minutes to get it down. Say hi, Zizi. Say hi. I decided that I was going to do this today. So I kind of started and decided at the last minute I was going to make this video. So let me show you what my plan is. So the window that I showed you is more or less 24 inches. So the tint is only 17.5 inches wide, and you can get it in a variety of lengths. So when I cut fabric, I kind of do something similar to what I'm doing for this. I just took it as a piece of fabric. So, and my husband suggested I do this the last time, something similar to this, and I was like, nah, I got it. I just used the window. It worked out okay, but I figured, let's see how much. And I only had maybe, 4 inches of waste off of the whole roll. So what I've done is taken Scotch tape. Now, this is the film part that you pull off, not the actual design part. So I've got Scotch tape here, a piece of Scotch tape here, here, and a longer piece here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this board over, my cutting mat. I'm going to flip it over. And this is a cutting board for your stove top. So I'm just going to take my finger blade, and cut it. And in theory, there should be about a half an inch on each side when I put it up. So let's see how well I do. It is taped to the board, this is a cutting mat for sewing. And it's a little more, it's about 26 inches long, I forget how wide. So my next thing is to take my, I had to look for it with Scotch tape, finger blade, and just run it right here down alongside my cutting mat. And it should be fairly close. So let's see how I do. Just took the blade and ran it right alongside my cutting board. It's got a little zip right here, but I can cut that out in just a second. The blade slid a little bit. But yeah, that should, I'm going to keep a pile of what we call waste and see how it goes. So there's about that much overlap that'll be on technically each side, but what I do is I take the raw edge. This is my raw edge, which is why I left a piece of Scotch tape there. And I put that in the window up against the glass. This is a straight edge from the factory. This is my cut edge. So what I do is that I make sure that I remember that this side goes in to the window. Because like this is my cut edge. And then you just these are really self-explanatory. They're very easy. There's a texture on this side. This is the side that faces you interiorly. This is the side with the adhesive. And this peels right off. The film comes off. You spray this. You spray your window really good with water. It comes with a utility knife and a squeegee. So it comes with this. And it comes with this. So, and you can order it without the toolkit, but I always do because of this. So my next step, like I said, is I've already cleaned the window, and they had a manufacturer sticker up here, which it took me 30 minutes to get off. Thank you to what we call the box. If the box would not have told me how to do it with just things that I have in my house, I would, it would still be there. Because I tried Windex. I tried Power Scrub. It wasn't budging. And I used one of my old debit cards to try to scrape it. Because I didn't want to go get a metal scraper and scrape my window. So I asked the box, which is, Alexa. And she said, use vinegar. I told her, I said, I don't have any vinegar, but I do have pickle juice. And she's like, pickle juice works fine. So I soaked the paper towel in pickle juice, put it on the sticker, and not even a minute later was able to just go, boop, peel it right off. So if you're stuck for stickers and you can't get it off, try pickle juice. So let me peel off the film and wet the window, and we'll go from there. So we're at the step now where I'm going to peel the back off of the film and wet it and wet my window. You need to make sure that everything is and I mean saturated. Okay? If you have wood that you need to protect under it, do so. This allows you to slide this around. Do not use soap. You might see videos that say use it. Manufacturers recommend that you do not, because it can break down the adhesive and eventually pull it up. So, let's get this peeled off and let's get it installed. I'm going to try to set this up. My tripod died, so I'm going to try to set it up. I'm going to pull the adhesive off. This is the smooth side, and the side that faces you is not, see? So once you pull this film off, let's see, okay, I'll be right back. I have you guys kind of standing up on the top of my stove. So I'm going to pull the film off, and it just peels right off. This is not sticky, but there is a very difference. The side that faces you is more textured than the side that has the adhesive. So you just pull your adhesive off, okay? If I knew a way to save that and do something with it, I would. So this is my water bottle. I have small hands. So, and it comes with one of those little tiny spray bottles. So what you want to do is wet this and your window. Spray this down with water. And then we're going to go to the window and I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to put it up. Okay. This is the best angle you guys are going to get. You're going to see my butt. I have shorts on, but you're going to see the back side of me, and I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my film, and then I'm going to come in and wet my window. The back of my film is wet. It's sitting on my stove. So the tint is going in this section, and then down here I have a piece of plexiglass that I'm going to tint. My film is wet. I'm going to turn it this way. You know, my rough edges this way. All right. Now, I'm going to keep wetting this, but I have to wet my window. You can see the water dripping off of this over here. So I'm just soaking the window. Okay, just soak it. Okay, and my squeegee's down there. That's good. All right, so what I do is I take it, and I'm going to make sure my edges and everything are wet. Right? And I take it and I put it in the window, and I mesh my corners up like so. And like I said, you got to keep your window wet. Make this as straight as I can get it. So this is being done by a visually impaired person. I'm not doing this as a tutorial. I'm doing this to show you how I adapt. How we as the visually impaired learn to adapt to our situations. So right now I'm just making sure that my top is in good, like that. And I'm going to take my spray bottle and I'm going to peel it back a little bit. And I'm going to just keep wetting it. Keep it wet. That's the most important thing. Keep it wet. Window and the film. Okay? And then you just kind of smooth it out and make sure you get all the big bubbles out. And right now I'm trying to work my corner so that it gets in my corner like it's supposed to. And not in the on the aluminum piece of framing. And this is, like I said, this one's a little more difficult than the one next to it, only because I have to reach over the sink. Oh, come on. There we go. Now, like I said, you gotta keep this wet while you're working it. You gotta. I learned that kind of the hard way. And you just get it in there, get it as best as you can. Like I said, this is not a tutorial. This is a visually impaired person putting this up. This isn't I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be one. So what I'm doing is I'm getting that all the way in that corner right now. And I'm gonna take my card that I used to scrape my sticker, and I'm just gonna run it in that corner right there. In the aluminum frame. I'm not cutting it, I'm just running the card down there so that I got an idea. Now, it comes with a squeegee, like I said. Or you can use, plastic, old credit card, what have you. Starting from the center, down, center, I'm just working, and right now, all I'm doing right now is working that excess water out. That's all I'm doing. That is all that this blind woman is doing. I'm going to cut that excess here shortly, but I want you to see that this it's not rocket science. It's not. All right, now I'm just going down and making sure that that's in there. Now I'm going to go like this to kind of get that in that corner good. So right now I'm just working the water out. That's all I'm doing. Just working that water out. Top to bottom, out and around. That's a piece of caulk. Alright. So now that I've got that, for the most part, where I want it and how I want it in, now we're just going to work that water out. Now, I'm not going to be able to see if there's air bubbles unless I go outside. And at this point, I'm not really worried about air bubbles. So, I do have an excess of about an inch, like I said I would. And then there's a little bit down here at the bottom. Alright, so I got that on there for the moment. I'm going to reach around and I'm going to feel and make sure I don't have any major bubbles. Nope, I don't feel any major bubbles. Alright. And I have to get the blade. It comes with this. Now, I don't know if I'm going to prefer, I used this the last time. But I think I'm going to use it this time too. So what I do is I put that in the corner, get it up there, and slice along the edge like that, just to get that excess out, because remember we're still working the water out of it. Now, there we go. Now, that's what I said I would have a little more than an inch, but close enough. Let me grab my squeegee, work that water out. We just continue to work that water out. Make sure you get all your corners. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial, it's just a blind woman showing you how she does it. Now, to make this squeegee thing slide a little more easy over your piece, you can wet this. I learned. Like I said, this is just a spray bottle of water. Get that corner, get in there and get them corners in. Now there's a little tiny bit of overhang right here. And I'm if it does not interfere with my window, I'm okay with it. But y'all wondered how I did it. So I got tons of questions on it. Because of my vision, how did you do this? It's not rocket science. It's really not. You just keep working until you get all the water bubbles out. Like I said, you can order the kit without the tools. But you ask my husband, you know, and I don't deny it, I lose shit. Constantly, I lose shit. Now, it's in. I'm just feeling it. Oh, depends. I can't see what the blind woman can't see. We don't open this window, so I don't think it's gonna really matter. So what I'm gonna do now, okay, so what I did with this window, make sure that's closed before I set it down. As you can see, I mean, it really wasn't rocket science. There it is. It's up. So like I said, on this window, instead of tinting the rest of the window, I'm going to get a 24 by 12 inch piece of plexiglass here and just leave this section here open. Because I still get a lot of light coming through. It's really pretty to see, but that's still a lot that shines on the floor and reflects up. But that's how I put that up, plain and simple. All done. I used to be Emerald Gypsy Heart. Now I'm Stoned Gnome 24/7. Be good. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. And see you when we see you. I don't know if I'm ever going to come back as a regular, but this was a fun project, so I thought I would share it with you guys.